Today we are going to explore a topic that affects each and every one of us, the power of the mind and how to control it. Our mind is like an ocean filled with waves of thoughts, emotions and distractions. Sometimes it pulls high with joy, but at other times it pulls us down with worries. But the question is, can we control our mind or does it control us? Great sages like philosophers and even modern psychologists agree that a disciplined mind leads to a peaceful and successful life. As the Bhagavad Gita says, for one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But one who has failed to do so, the mind will remain the greatest enemy. Through this show, we will see how different emotions like anger, temptation, fear, and doubt try to take the control of the mind. But with the right guidance, discipline, and self-awareness, one can learn to master these inner struggles. Hi Ramesh, how are you?
I'm doing so fine. And I bought a new Benz car and so excited about driving it. The feeling of driving a Benz car is making me feel so happy.
Wow, congrats Ramesh. Have a safe and happy drive in your new car.
Next, I want to buy a Porsche and become a member in the Porsche Owners Club. I think that will make me still happier.
Hi Ravi and Ramesh, I heard your conversation. I am certainly happy for you Ramesh on buying a new car. But I see that you seek happiness in a very materialistic way. Do you think it is right?
Hi guys, I heard you all. You know, it is a human nature to always go in search of happiness. Unfortunately, in almost all the cases, the majority seek and believe that material happiness is the ultimate in this life. But unfortunately, having attained this material happiness, we find that there is no satisfaction unearned for good. Do I sound very sermonizing?
No, Srivashni, I think you are right. I feel this is basically due to our ignorance, or let's say avidya.
Avidya, what do you mean by it?
I was reading the book named Satyartha Prakash by Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati. It is clearly stated in the book that it is a false notion that the worldly things are eternal and that the physical bodies become imperishable by virtue of yoga. Regarding impure things such as unwanted thoughts and untruthfulness as pure, excessive indulgence in bodily interactions is a source of happiness, whereas it causes pain and suffering. Considering material things as possessed for soul, this fourfold incorrect knowledge is called avidya or ignorance. He who realizes the nature of vidya or true knowledge by leading a good moral life, spending divine contemplation, simultaneously conquers that due to ignorance and obtains immortality by virtue of vidya.
This state of mind and true knowledge that can be attained only by the control of mind as said in Bhagavad Gita.
Hey, I know the sloka. That is Sankalpa Prabhavan Kamansya Sankalpa Prabhavan Kamansya Sarvana Sheshadaha Manasaivendriya Gramam Viniyamya Samantadaha Shanai Shanai Ruparamed Buddhya Dhriti Grihitaya Atma Samstha Manakritva Na Kinchitapi Chintayet.
Meaning completely renouncing all desires arising from the thoughts of the world. Once you restrain the senses from all the sides with the mind slowly and steadily with the conviction in the intellect, the mind will become fixed, God alone, and will think of nothing else.
Living in this materialistic and consumer-driven society, it is difficult for an individual to attain this state of non-attachment easily. It is only through the constant practice that this state can be achieved.
In effect, one has to level his interactions with the material world and control the impulses that give rise to unnecessary desires. To achieve the state of controlling one's emotion, the Vedas recommended Sattvaguna, as described in 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The qualities are free from attachment, unegoistic, endowed because of this that the Vedic scriptures advise and encourages an individual to practice yoga as a means to attain a healthy mind. This is essential for further spiritual development.
Now I understand that the practice of yoga leads to all-round development of an individual and enhances physical, mental and spiritual growth. I will surely try to practice it.
Friends, all of us have been taught the chapter Mind in our Vedic classes. Let us conclude by reciting the mantra that helps to control our mind.
Om Yajjagrado Duramudaiti Daivam Tado Suptasya Tadaivaiti Duram Gamam Jyotisha Jyotirekam Tanme Manaha Shiva Sankalpamastu.
Truly blessed to hear such a wise words from our young speakers. Next we have bhajans in Hindi, Om Ka Swar. This song embodies the essence of Om by guiding us towards discipline.
Today's last speech about A Lesson to Michael, Sri Rama's Life by Subiksha P.
Namaste, a small information. The boy Haricharan is not able to come today because of some health issues. Instead of Haricharan, we have Subiksha of class 5A. She is there. She prepared the speech today morning, so kindly encourage her with your appreciation.
Namaste to all. My name is Subiksha of class 5B. Speech on Rama Navami. Rama Vigrahavan Dharma, meaning Rama is the embodiment of Dharma. These words encapsulate the very essence of today's celebration. As we gather to honor the birth of Lord Rama, let us not just reflect on his divine presence, but on his profound lessons his life imparts. Though the life of Lord Rama is beautifully narrated in the Ramayana, and the Vedas also highlighted the qualities of a perfect king which Lord Rama represents. Rig Veda describes an ideal ruler who is truthful, just, and protects his people just like Lord Rama represents. Yajurveda impasses righteous dharma as the most important duty which Lord Rama has to follow. Atharvaveda just speaks about a noble king under whom people live in peace and happiness. Similar to Rama Rajya, the golden rule of Lord Rama. Lord Rama teaches us many valuable lessons such as truthfulness. He never spoke lie and stood for justice. Obedience. He respected and followed his parents' words even when it meant going exile for about 14 years. Kindness and compassion. He treated everyone with love, even those who were against him. Courage and strength. He faced many difficulties with patience and stood and never lost hope. Lord Rama's life is an example of how we should live with truth, courage and love for all. The Vedas guide us toward righteousness. The Lord Rama's life is a perfect reflection of those teachings. Let us celebrate this Rama Navami not just with rituals but by following his daily ideals in our daily lives. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you, Subiksha. It was indeed a good thought-provoking speech. Next we have speech in Tamil, Ramanin Marmugal by Kavinyas.
கருவிலேனை சுமந்து உருதந்த தாய்க்கும் தாய் தந்த உருவுக்கு திருதந்த தமிழ் தாய்க்கும் முதல் வணக்கம். அவையோரை எடுத்து வணங்கி தொடங்குகிறேன் என் உரையை. தாருங்கள் உங்கள் செவியை. பாரத நாட்டின் புதல்வராய் பிறந்து புண்ணிய மனிதர்களாய் உயர்ந்தவர் பலர். அவர்களுள் ஒருவில் ஒரு சொல் ஒரு இல் என உன்னத வாழ்வு வாழ்ந்து நமக்கெல்லாம் வழிகாட்டியாய் பிழிகாட்டியாய் திகழ்பவர் குணத்தின் குன்று பண்பின் படிமம் ராமன். பங்குனி மாதம் புனர்பூச நட்சத்திரத்தில் கிருஷ்ணபட்ச நவமி திதியில் பூமியில் பிறந்தார். அந்நாளே ராமநவமி. அந்நன்னாளே இந்நாளே. தந்தை சொல்மிக்க மந்திரம் இல்லை, இது நமக்கெல்லாம் வார்த்தை. ராமனுக்கோ இது வாழ்க்கை. ஆம், தந்தை தசரதன் கேட்டதால் அரியணையை தனது அன்பு தம்பி பரதனுக்கு விட்டு கொடுத்து வீட்டை விட்டு ஓராண்டல்ல ஈராண்டல்ல 14 ஆண்டுகள் வனவாசம் சென்ற கர்ம வீரன் அல்லவா ராமன். சொல்லும் போதே சிலிர்க்கிறதே மேனி. தந்தையின் சொல்லை மந்திரமாக மதித்து கண்ணும் கருத்துமாய் கடமையை செய்தான். கார்மேனி நிறத்தான். பரதனோ அண்ணன் ராமனின் பாதுகையை வைத்து ஆட்சி செய்தான். இதை பார்த்து பதவிக்காக ஆளாய் பறக்கும் அண்ணன் தம்பிகள் பாடம் கற்றால் பாரதம் சிறக்கும். எவ்வுயிரின் துன்பத்தையும் தன் துன்பம் போல் கருதுபவனே அறிவுடைய மாமனிதன் என்பதை அறிவினால் ஆகுவது உண்டோ. பிறதின் நோய் தன் நோய் போல் போற்றாக்கடை என்கிறார் வான்புகள் கொண்ட வள்ளுவர். தன் மீது அன்பு காட்டி காட்டில் காத்திருந்து
தாயென அன்பு காட்டி தளித்த பழத்தை மகிழ்ந்து தின்று முதிய பெண்மணி சபரிக்கு அடைக்கலம் தந்தான் ராமன். இதை பார்த்து முதியவர்களை மதிக்கும் பண்பை நாம் அறியாமல் இருக்க முடியுமா? வேடர் குலத்தில் பிறந்த குகன் கட்டிய அன்பினால் அவனை 5வது சகோதரனாக ஏற்றுக்கொண்ட வேற்றுமை பாரா வில்லவன் ராமனின் பண்பு வியத்தகு பண்பல்லவா? அரக்க இனத்தில் பிறந்த விஷீபன் மீதும் இரக்கம் காட்டி அவனை 7வது சகோதரனாக ஏற்றுக்கொண்ட கோதண்ட ராமனின் குணத்திற்கு ஈடுண்டாய் உலகில் அனுமனின் தியாகம் கலந்த அன்பை உணர்ந்து அருகில் வைத்து அரவணைத்த அரிய பண்பு ராமனின் குணக்கிரீடம். ராவணன் ஆயுதமின்றி போர்க்களத்தில் நின்ற பொழுது இன்று போய் நாளை வா என்று அரக்க இனத்திற்கே இரக்கம் காட்டிய இனிய பண்பு பகைவரும் பறைசாற்றுவர். இவ்வாறு ராமனின் பண்புகளை பட்டியலிட்டால் அவை ஏராளம் ஏராளம், ஆனால் நேரத்திலோ இல்லை தாராளம் என்று சொல்லிக்கொண்டே போகலாம். ஆனால் என் உரைக்கு வரையிட்டு மற்றவருக்கு வழிவிட்டு வாய்ப்புக்கு நன்றி கூறுவதை
And one more note, the boy who has to give the speech in English is not able to come because of the due health. He is due to poor health. And Kavin got hurt in his forehead yesterday night. By 11 o'clock his father called and he got hurt and stitched. 2 stitches he has put in the forehead. And this boy said, no, I want to attend the Ramanami celebration and I want to give the speech. So, really we are very happy to have such wonderful sincere students and with their appreciation also.
Thank you, Karan. We are truly blessed to have here such a lighter thoughts. Bhajan in Tamil, Ramanai Panivo, written and composed atmosphere with deep gratitude. We thank everyone for giving us the blessed opportunity to present today's satsang and Ramanavami program. It is truly a privilege to be instruments in spreading divine vibrations through bhajans, thoughts and prayers. Thank you and namaste. Namaste.
Namaste to all. As once she mentioned, interest of time, it's like coming late. So we'll have a very 2-minute, we'll just close our eyes to install the 10-minute meditation. Just have a very 2-minute, very brief meditation just to calm ourselves down after a wonderful devotional program by the children of the Gill Nagar school. So please sit straight. If possible, you can be in Padmasana, otherwise a comfortable posture. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. We will chant Om 3 times. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Once again. Third time. Silence for a few moments. Feel the vibration. Keep your eyes closed. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently relax. So we will, on this wonderful occasion of Ram Navami, I'll just leave you with one thought in the interest of time, just for 5 minutes. So, on this occasion, when we celebrate the virtues of Sri Ram, it's important that we pick up at least one message, right, from his life, which is applicable in our own everyday lives. Think about the situation that Sri Ram was to be coronated as the king the next day, right? The entire city was being lit up. Obviously, Sri Ram also, I'm sure, would have had a sense of happiness, looking forward to, right? A very, very important day, isn't it? Right. And suddenly overnight, a development happens. And let alone being the king, he needs to now leave the palace and go to forest for 14 long years. The best thing to learn from this is that Sri Rama was not disturbed, was not very disturbed, right? The two situations are diametrically opposite. They are diametrically opposite. right? But he took them with the same sense of equanimity. Right? That, to my mind, is one of the key learnings from Sri Rama's life. Sri Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, he quotes a very nice shloka which says, Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labhau jaya jayo tato yudhyaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsasi. Encouraging Arjuna, Sri Krishna says, Sukham dukham same kritva. That happiness and sorrow, same kritva. You need to make it like, you need to make it same in some sense. Right? Don't get overjoyed and don't get very disturbed also by sorrow. Sukham dukham same kritva labha alabha. You may have gain, you may have loss. Jaya ajaya. You may have victory or you may have defeat. Right? Sukham dukham same kritva labha labhau jaya ajayau tato yudhyaya yujyasva naivam papam vapsasi. So Arjuna, prepare for the battle, right? And don't incur a sin due to just being in an inertia mode. How is this applicable to our daily lives? Because we also have dukkha. We also have dukkha in our lives. Dukkha basically means stress. Dukkha means worries. Dukkha means physical diseases, right? Dukkha means financial stress. Dukkha means relationships, misunderstanding, stress arising because of that, right? All of this comes under dukkha. And definitely all of us sitting over here, I'm sure we have some dukkha in our lives. And also, my dear audience, dukkha comes in an instant, isn't it? It doesn't give you any notice, isn't it? Doesn't give you any kind of a notice. I am now here today, walking back home. I may meet with an accident and find myself in the hospital in the afternoon. Possible, right? Dukkha does not give you notice. So, it's important in life that sukham dukham same kritva. Sri Rama, in his life, if you take a look at it, this occasion. See, the interesting part is Ramayana and Mahabharata. Why are they so relevant for us? Why do we, each one of us, be trying to children learn about these stories or these key incidents? Because in life also we face similar diverse kind of situations. And dharma is defined by the way we conduct ourselves in these complex situations. In these complex situations. Right? So that's the key learning on this occasion. As I mentioned, I'll keep it short in the interest of time. Once again, I think this was a wonderful program by the students of Gill Nagar. I think the kind of confidence the children had. I think the content also was very good, but I was really awed by the confidence. And I was wondering, these are class 4 and 5 students, isn't it? Right? Even the Tamil speaks, the confidence that the child, I forgot the name, what's the name? Kavin, right? The confidence the child had. Even the talk show, the bhajans, I think that's something, it was really very, very, it was superb. And I think once again, a round of applause to the entire team, principal, thank you all of you. And we will close the session over here, over to Vanshti for some announcements and have the meal mantra and the Shanti. Thank you.